Hello, I'm Michelle Watson. Today I'll present my Capstone project, Analyzing Diabetes Through Lifestyle and Biological Factors. My goal was to analyze CDC survey data to identify which factors correlate most strongly with diabetes. I used the CDC's 2015 Diabetes Health Indicators dataset, 71,000 survey responses, balanced between diabetic and non-diabetic groups. This avoids bias from imbalanced data. The calculation was pre-clean and I made further adjustments. I improved clarity by reversing misleading scales. For example, Gen Health originally scored 5 as poor health. I flipped it so 5 now means excellent health. Similarly, I renamed variables like physical health to explicitly reflect good health days. I created a heat map and network of all 22 variables. I then filtered the network to only show variables that are involved with an absolute correlation over 0.2. I then printed a list of unique pairs and correlations to make a heat map of only highly correlated variables to explore further. My heat map revealed 3 key relationships. Self-reported health had the strongest link to diabetes, income showed a moderate inverse correlation, and biological factors like high blood pressure and BMI stood out. Interestingly, lifestyle factors like diet and exercise had weak correlations, possibly due to unreliable self-reporting. Let's visualize these relationships to better understand their implications. For every graph, I'll describe what I see and provide insights. Income disparities were striking. In the lowest bracket, under 10K, 66% had diabetes, nearly double the rate of the highest bracket, 75K, at 35%. This suggests socioeconomic barriers to healthcare or healthy food access, though causation isn't proven. This made me wonder, does education play a similar role? Education alone had low direct correlation with diabetes, but it's linked to higher income at 0.46 and better self-reported health at 0.29. This implies education's impact is indirect, possibly mediated by economic stability and health literacy. Given these socioeconomic findings, I wanted to explore lifestyle factors that could be determined by these socioeconomic results. Since income was negatively correlated with diabetes status, I wanted to explore the possibility of nutritious food access. Unexpectedly, lifestyle variables like fruit and veggie intake or smoking showed minimal correlation. However, there was a lower prevalence of diabetes in those with physical activity in the last 30 days, 38% compared to 55%, around a 15% difference. Since physical activity showed promise, I explored BMI further since it's related to weight and potentially a more objective lifestyle measure. BMI had a clear positive link at 0.29. The histogram shows that those with diabetes have a slightly higher BMI distribution than those without diabetes. While imperfect, it suggests weight management is a moderate predictor, consistent with medical literature. Moving beyond lifestyle variables, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and a history of coronary heart disease, CHD, or myocardial infarction are all positively correlated with the diabetes prevalence. Those with high blood pressure were nearly twice as likely to have diabetes. This aligns with known connections since high blood sugar levels, which is associated with diabetes, is a risk factor for hypertension or high blood pressure. Overall, prevalence of diabetes in the high-level groups or those with an existing history are nearly double of those in the normal, low, or no history group. Diabetes and history of stroke was not highly correlated at all. In fact, difficulty walking had a higher correlation at 0.27 than heart disease history. This finding agrees with biology since people with diabetes are at an increased risk of foot conditions and complications. Finally, one subjective measure stood out above all the others. Self-reported health was the variable most highly correlated with diabetes. The steep rise indicates that those with diabetes have self-reported poorer health than those without diabetes. This subjective measure may capture underlying complexities missed by binary metrics. Bringing all these findings together, here are my key takeaways and disclaimer. It's important to realize that correlation is not causation. The data was collected at the same point in time, so it's unsure of what came first, the variables or the diabetes diagnosis. Some key takeaways are that socioeconomics matter. The income disparities in diabetes rates highlight systemic inequities. Biology matters. High blood pressure, cholesterol, and BMI are critical screening markers. Finally, the patient voice matters. Self-reported general health had the highest correlation with diabetes and shows that listening to patients is a simple but powerful indicator for clinicians. Thank you for your attention.